Hello everyone and welcome to the weekend video. This is another soldier. I said I was done, but I wasn't. The thing is, this is the not original idea I had, but this is the original direction I wanted to go into with this. And at this week I basically just had this idea, I had this design idea and was like, oh, this is actually what I wanted to do, so I'm actually going to do it. I'm only showing two pieces. The whole set I made a chest piece, I made a waist piece, which is part of the video. We're already at 12 times the speed and we're at almost 12 minutes. So yeah, I made the weapon and the shield, so if you want you can jump right to the end to the final render and check that out and then come back here, I hope. I made the leg piece and I made the arm piece. So basically a lot of stuff that I actually made, and you only see part of this. I also made the I call it hip scarf, the accessory on the hip, the additional flimsy piece of fabric that she wears. So yeah, we're very fast in the video because there's just so much. This alone took me like almost 2 hours to finish, and I made multiple pieces, so you can imagine how long this took total. Like all Saturday actually, because on Sunday I'm not home, I'm away, so I did this on Saturday so I would have enough time for this. This is at the very end you will see that the character actually stands on a cylinder plate. This is because this is something I want to 3D print and paint. There might be, if I get a good enough print, there will be a paint video, a miniature painting video or figure painting video, more or less, because I want to print this actual in like 4.5 inches. So yeah, this is a bigger print that will take a longer time, and I hope I get a good print and don't waste material on this, because this one is a bit bigger. But yeah, the whole design is designed around this specific shape that I'm currently working on, which is similar to a heart shape with a bit of add-on. You might have seen this as like tattoos I put on the characters. This particular character does not wear a tattoo, but yeah. I also wanted to test out the additional stuff on this. You can see I copy-pasted the outer layer of this, thickened this, so I basically have like a frame or an edge for this one. And the real the real thing was that I wanted to give it like thorns. I wanted to test out this thorny idea, and this is what actually took most of the time. I'm going to explain this while you can see me doing this. So what I did is I grabbed one of the edges of the outside of this frame. Let's call it a frame, this thorn frame. I grabbed one of the edges, I extruded it, and then I pulled it out and connected all the edges around the tip, more or less, to make it more pronounced. And yeah, this gives this thorny visual additional frame which I was wanting to have. So this is why I called this set the Heartthorn Soldier, because it has like a heart shape but also thorns on the outside. Soldier is a very definable, redefined idea here. But yeah, this is, I basically took this as, or will take this maybe as another token to print, so we'll see. And when I get the printed tokens, I will show them. In other news, I actually finally got Fluidus to run on my desk studio, so there will be a video with fluid animation, or with fluid physics, fluid simulation, more or less. I'm already playing around with it. I will hopefully play around with this next week more. I don't know, I have early shift, so there might not be that much time. But we'll see if I can actually manage to play around with this and figure the whole thing out. What I can't figure out yet is how to make the water respect other objects in the scene. So if I put a cube somewhere, it should not flood through the cube, but instead around, and I haven't figured that one out yet. But yeah, back to the thing. You can see there is also the, for me, typical idea of some in the armor integrated piercings, a theme that you see with me quite often. And yeah, the next thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to actually like give this piece multiple shading domains. I wanted to have the wings golden and the central piece as well as the breast armor to be metal or iron, steel. And so I tried to grab all these faces and make them a shading domain. I actually made them a shading domain, so this worked, but it didn't save. So I think, at least for this piece, I have to play around a bit more, see how the whole thing works out, and then see if I can fix this. I'm not really sure why it didn't work. Again, this is something that I'm still figuring out. I have halfway figured it out, halfway not, and this is one of those halfway not pieces where I'm just like really stumped why it doesn't do what I want it to do. Also in the final render, the piercing is not as pronounced as I wanted it to be, because it is relatively small, and since both things are metal, it both reflect, so you can't see it really well. Next thing I worked at was, or is, the Waistpiece. I'm not calling it armor, I'm calling it a Waistpiece because you know what it is. I recently was asked if I had something Slave Layer inspired, and I was like, not really, but this is also kind of part of why I basically was like, oh, I'm gonna design it this way. You can see the Heartthorn thing again. I basically copy pasted it, and then I noticed, hey, I cannot grab the faces of the edge, of the thorn edge, or of the thorn part, and that is why this thing, why I redid it, because I basically had the issue of, hey, this doesn't really work as intended. I had to shift it a bit because otherwise it would have clipped through the body or would have too much distance to the body. So I, yeah, and had to shift it, and then I basically saw that I had to redo the whole edge, the whole thorn edge. So yeah. This is why you see me do this twice. Second time it went a lot faster, but what I couldn't do was use the symmetry for some reason. Hexagon didn't let me activate the symmetry, or when I did, it didn't see it symmetrical. Maybe it would have seen it symmetrical in some cases, and I would have just had to do a few of the other side, but I basically just decided, okay, I'm going to do this asymmetrical then, whatever, and just did it. Yeah, the in this case, the halter, the other halter, is basically just around the side of the character, just to basically hold it in place, more or less, and to alleviate some of the stress on the piercings, but it is a fictional thing, so it doesn't really matter. For this one, I thought of a loincloth again. Wanted to do one because I wanted to get more into rigging these correctly. You don't see the rigging because that would have been another hour that I put in after I finished the whole set. But yeah, the rig is good so far. It works. It is a bit weird, but yeah. Well, I had to play around with it a bit. There is only a loincloth in the front. The back has none, which is yeah, which I knew, or which I wanted to, and I had to redo this part because Hexagon decided to crash on me for whatever reason. But yeah, after redoing the hold, I started with the fabric, which relatively simple terms I should redo because it doesn't fit very well, and the rigging is not perfect. At some poses it really sticks out, and while it is smoothly rigged and it looks okay, it still has some weird poses, and I should make it even thinner at the center so that it doesn't interact with the thighs too much, which is one of the issues I have with this. Other than that, I'm really happy with how the whole thing looks, and yeah, you can enjoy the render in a few seconds. That's it for this video, and if I get a good print, I will show you. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you guys in the week.